Hello everyone, welcome back to the third section of this meta recap. So, as mentioned, we are going to go through certain replays throughout the past month, and I'm going to pick certain clips out so that you can see the unit matchups. What can kill, what cannot kill. But, just a disclaimer. In my opinion, 90% of the scenarios in game is actually, there's no such thing as a sure kill or sure not kill. 90% of the time, it depends on a lot of conditions, RNG procs, what equipment you have, whether you're on terrain or not. So only 10% of things in the games I can confidently say like, yeah, that's gonna kill or yeah, that's gonna fail. So, kind of have to take this with a pinch of salt. I do try to call out these conditions that are happening in each scenario, but this is just more of like an informational thing to see what is possible, not what will happen for sure. And with that being said, have fun. This clip, we're gonna see that Ares has still got it. So even though he's kind of a washed up unit because not many people are playing him anymore, you can see in this clip he's gonna do some shit when the opportunity presents itself. And look at the lineup on our opponent, it's not even single target Ares, it's Wind Whisper Ares. And we haven't really seen this in a while unless you're like playing AoE Rush or something. But one thing to note is this cherry is confirmed to be exclusive. You can see that he triggered it just a while ago. There's a cooldown here. And so this cherry has like 11.5k HP, while the CC White has about 10k left on the body. And you can see the kind of magic that Ares can do even without Miracle, because Miracle expired. Yeah, you can see this Breeze Ares. As you can see, it's not even a magic type of Ares, and you can see it's just an attack buff. There's no miracle or anything. Goes in. Against the double holy, CC White almost kills her one hit. And Cherry has 43%, but that's mostly the angels, and then he kills both of them. So this replay is more like a symphony of disasters. So first off, we're gonna look at Wet Ham attempting to hit Wet Ham, both werewolves and without crush. And this game, first thing I did wrong was I planted a sword next to his sword, so it's free damage reduction. And while I was attempting to dodge the burn aura, I actually walked into the sword myself, so that's fucking 45% damage reduction, and the damage is pretty trash. So granted, even if I moved away, I think even with two people next to the sword and in burn aura, I don't think that's a kill as well. But okay, so you can see this is the damage of Wolf Wet Ham into Wolf Wet Ham if there's maximum damage reduction on the sword. And for some reason, apparently Mage Lucretia cannot kill a Wet Ham with werewolves with 3C when the sword is next to a single person. So this is non-Twilight, not holy unit, so it's Mage class, but with Burn's faction buff, which is like one of the highest percentage damage increase in the game for a faction buff. 3C doesn't work because I have immunity, so there's no Dark Reaper. So yeah, this is kind of interesting to know. So terrain, one unit next to sword. Well, the swords are next to each other. Non-holy class Lucretia cannot kill a Wet Ham. I wonder if holy class Lucretia would kill it, because even with 3C, the mage will hit the werewolf first. So unless the sorceress cannot finish killing the werewolves, the Lucretia's main class shouldn't matter as much. So yeah, I'm not sure about that. And then lastly, we're gonna look at Wet Ham. Oops. Well, spoiler alert. We're gonna look at Lostham trying to hit Lostham. So this is Sensi alone on a city wall. And this is Dark Elf. He walked into 2 range. And you can see from the damage value, you don't really know who is attacking who. So there's a bunch of things that we can talk about this. So I'm not exactly sure whether Lostham's bulkiness comes from the fact that he counters pretty quickly as an assassin, which enables him to kill off some of his enemy's troops first to reduce the amount of damage it takes, or is it from his actual bulkiness of the Sensi Mercenary plus whatever equipment you have of him, like OLB, the Jot or whatever. So mean, I tried to look at the animation, but you can't really see shit even at one time. So if you really want to see, you're probably gonna have to record this and then you play it at like 0.25 speed or something. You can barely see anything really. Yeah, so I don't really have enough data to make a proper conclusion out of this. So not sure how much of his bulkiness comes from the fact that he counters as an assassin, and how much of his bulkiness comes from the fact that he's just actually very bulky with the troops and his gear. While we're on the topic of werewolves against werewolves, take a look at this replay. So I'm using Wet Hand and I'm trying to kill the opponent's juggler. So look at the conditions. So I'm bringing the standard kind of Wet Hand. I brought Shadow Step, even though because I wasn't sure how the guard situation was gonna look like. So I brought Jump just in case I need to pick off someone away from the tank. But I decided to go in and try it anyway. And you can check out the damage. There's no buff juggler and this regular Wet Hand. It's kind of very disgraceful damage. Granted that this one is in Burn Aura. But if you took a look at this replay, same thing, Wet Hand trying to hit the opponent juggler, both werewolves, but this time I have Crush and he has no Burn Heart Aura. Same player even actually, but you know, this is Wet Hand on my account. And you can take a look at the attack here, 1517. And this time, it's a very comfortable kill. You can see from this the first replay, you can actually see that the Wet Hand's attack is actually higher than mine. So, although I don't have Crush this time, but I think this just drives home the fact that for one-shot matchups, like whether you can kill him in one shot or not, I think a lot of the times the calculation will fall down to whether your troops can kill their troops in 2 ticks or not. So the troops each do 2 ticks to kill off their troops, and then your hero does 20 ticks to kill off their hero. Most of the time, one-shots are make or break based on that calculation alone. And because of werewolves, they have extremely bulky, a lot of stats. Yeah, defense plus 40%. And because Burn Heart Aura directly reduces attack and defense of both the hero and troops, I think that makes the werewolf to werewolf matchup very fucked, because I think the werewolf is gonna take extra maybe 1 or even 2 more hits based on the damage difference to kill off the opponent werewolves, and Wet Hand didn't even get to touch the juggler's body. So troop to troop attack and defense matters a lot, and for hero to hero, although that's a separate discussion, usually damage increase matters a bit more for the hero. So you can see werewolves, wait, what is this, 869, is that normal? Guess it should be normal, but this is about 1.17, and then plus another 40%, but reduced by 15%, so only plus 25%. Whereas the defense here is about 700, plus 40% on defense, which would bring it to around, percentage should be based on the 505, so that's another plus 200 defense. I'm a bit too lazy to hash out the math for myself, but you can see, right, the damage, this is completely disgraceful. What is this? Like, Crush alone would not make this amount of difference. So this was one thing that was the most surprising that happened in my games in the past like 2 or 3 weeks. So you can take a look at this Lostham. This is obscene. This is Full Moon Lostham 6 stars with CC White's Act Again buff. And it fucking killed a Sensi Lewin melee range normal attack. This is like, what the fuck is this? So I looked at the animation, and my kind of hypothesis is that Lostham actually takes out some of the troops, and some of the Sensi's attack actually ended up leaking into Lewin, which is infantry to lancer, so that's why it hurts so much. And granted that this is a very edge case scenario, because my Lewin is running Apex boots, so it's more of a squishy version. It's not like blood pack or like I don't know what else bulky accessory you run on him, like defense or HP accessory. And this Lostham is 6 stars within 1 month and running full moon, so the attack is not normal. But you take a look at just the previous turn. Where is it? Oops. Just the previous turn, the Lostham tried to attack the exact same Lewin with the Ignore Guard skill. Okay, defended did proc, but look at the damage. So that means that if I didn't proc defenders and if my Sense Seed died more quickly, Lostham could have actually probably just killed my Lewin here with the additional Sense Seed attack. So yeah, this hero, well, even though earlier in the video I said that 4 star is kind of sus, this is a very edge case Lostham with full moon, but kind of a showcase of what he can actually do when he's properly, or rather fully built at 6 stars. So in this clip, we will see a diehard killing a werewolf Wetham with 2 units inside the aura. So this one, I don't know, I've never seen this matchup interaction before. So apparently it's possible with damage increase. No, this is just from the Oath of Karma, this is normal. And then with IBC's buff and Twilight Star, you are able to kill a Wetham with no defensive buffs, even with 2 units in the Sword Aura. So this one, I don't know, I expected Werewolf to be a lot tankier. So this actually does raise some questions on whether, how secure is diehard's damage on killing a Wetham, regardless of whether it's gargoyles or werewolves. So this just goes back to the previous discussion on how one-shots are dependent on whether your troops can take their troops, and I think this actually mattered a lot. The power attack plus 25% onto the fairies actually made that kill possible, because I think normally I don't think that should have happened, especially not with 2 units inside the Sword Aura. So this final replay that I'm going to touch on is going to be looking at Elwyn's damage on a Lancer Hilda. So granted, this Hilda is not the bulkiest because it's not using Blood Pack, just based on looking at the HP. You can just look at the damage. I kind of haven't seen an Elwyn take a single Hilda life in recent memory, especially Lancer Hilda at a relatively healthy HP percentage. So, I know Royal Carry is below 80% and Royal Carry is weak against Unicorns, and I have Grassland, but I don't have, what's that called, Group Charge. I'm not near an ally. And, I kind of looked at this a little bit, and because Hilda right now, she has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 buffs. So dispels 5. And Conquest will take off another buff when I attack, when the caster's ally actively attacks the target mark with Conquest. Before battle, dispels 1 buff. So from 7 buffs, it's gonna minus 5 into 2, and then minus another 1 more, which takes her below the threshold for her damage reduction. So a combination of all those factors, and Elwyn's faction buff also gains more damage with dead allies, and I have 2 dead allies now. So it's plus another 6% for 21%. So a combination of those factors actually enables Elwyn to one-shot a Lancer Hilda. Even though, it's not Lancer troops, it's not full HP, it's not Blood Pack, but defense value is pretty high, MDef value is pretty decent as well. Actually, let me just look at it after the attack. That's pretty decent Hilda stat values considering I stripped all the buffs. So this was kind of slightly surprising for me to take 1 life. I was planning to just hit it a few times until it died. But yeah, Elwyn can one-shot a Hilda if the situation is correct, like the correct buffs are removed. So yeah, that's about it for this video. So again, these replays are just showcasing certain possibilities. In your games, things might happen a bit differently based on whatever conditions and your stats and stuff. So I think I'm pretty happy with how this one came out. So going forward, I'll probably try to keep this section up And as for the individual replays showcasing, the entire game, I might still do those every now and then when I find a pretty decent game, but well, I probably won't be calling those weekly replays anymore. So with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed, and see you guys in the next one. Peace.